You're listening to School Counseling Simplified, a podcast with easy-to-implement strategies for busy school counselors. Here's your host, Rachel Davis from Bright Futures Counseling.
Calling all new school counselors. If you're an intern, just graduated, or recently hired, this is for you. I have a free training series for you called New School Counselor Bootcamp. And this 5-part training will be covering how to make the most of your internship, rocking the interview process, how to prepare your office, setting up for a successful and stress-free school year, and your first 30, 60, and 90-day to-do list. So go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/bootcamp to sign up. Hey there, thanks for listening to another episode of School Counseling Simplified. Today I want to talk to you guys all about interviewing. So do you remember when you were interviewing for counseling positions, or maybe you're interviewing right now? I know that it was an emotional roller coaster preparing, interviewing, and dealing with rejection. It took me quite a few interviews before landing my dream job. That's why I love to talk about this, and I love to help counselors feel more prepared on how they can interview successfully. But I decided who else to talk about this besides myself? You guys. So I sent out an email asking you if you could submit some of your advice, strategies, funny stories, or just some words of encouragement. So I can't wait. I'm going to do a little mashup to share with you guys the things that everyone shared. Thank you to Amy, Delaney, Adrian, Lydia, Haley, Kelly, Sarah, Kamal, and Jennifer for submitting a little audio clip of your advice and encouragement. Thank you so much. I know it took a little time on your part, and I really appreciate it. And I know the counselors listening who are going through the interview process will appreciate it as well. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode.
Good afternoon, future school counselor. I just wanted to share a few interview tips with you. I've just been a counselor for going on 3 years, so I've been in your shoes recently, and just wanted to give you some tips. The first one I would say is do a little research on the schools that you're interviewing with. Look up the school, get some data on demographics and testing, and the school's mission, the school's goals, and then share with them how you can fit in and contribute to those things. I know that that's something they say in all the articles about getting a job is to do some research, but that one's really legit. The next thing I would say is don't sell yourself short. Be confident. Be confident in what you know and what you've already achieved, and what you know you can do. Even if you've not been a school counselor before or not worked in the school system, there are work and life experiences that you've had that will contribute to the job that you can do and the person that you are, and what kind of counselor you'll be. You may have some experiences that others can't bring to the table, and just be honest and share where you feel that it would be beneficial to maybe self-disclose a little bit. That moves me to my next one. Just be yourself. Be genuine and sincere. A big part of the interview is admin, verifying that you're personable and approachable to adults and students, and making sure that you're going to mesh with the school's culture and vibe. Last one would probably be make sure that they understand that your students are your first priority, that you are there for the students. Give some examples of how you make the kids your top priority, and what you've done maybe in the past that shows this, maybe during your internship or in a past position if you previously worked in a school, and this is your opportunity to brag on yourself a little bit and to tell and show what you have to offer. So don't miss that chance and take it. I want to thank you for joining us. There probably will never ever be enough school counselors in schools, but I thank you, and I'm so excited for your journey and excited for you, and I wish you the very best. Thanks.
My advice for any school counselor going on an interview would be to be confident that your experiences support your unique counseling style and give some examples. And just make sure that you bring some samples of work that you are very proud of, that you have done in the past with students. Employers love this. This really set me apart in my last interview. And you can even bring new counseling items that you will bring into your sessions.
Hi, my name is Lydia, and I am an elementary school counselor in New Jersey. My advice for future school counselors that are going through the interview process is to make sure that during your interview, you have let's call it an elevator pitch, so a very short, kind of prepared speech about how you are going to impact that school community. What unique aspects of your personality are you going to be able to bring into that school community that is going to make a change or just be something new and fresh that they haven't had before? So, in my case, I would always try to talk about the different kinds of programs and initiatives that I would potentially like to put on within the school to promote community building, connections between staff and students, connections between staff members, all centered around mental health. So getting that into a very short and concise elevator pitch, if you will, and being able to express it and provide clear examples of what you would do and how you would bring that into that school community will help the interviewer to see, hey, this is somebody that we want a part of our school family and that is going to be able to bring something tangible to make an impact.
My advice for an interview is to not hold back. I recently did have an interview where I was moving from a pre-K through 5 campus to just pre-K through first grade. And so I busted out my songs and my puppets in the interview just to show them what I could do. So don't hold back with things that you're good at and things that you enjoy to show them how you could use that when you are given the position.
My advice to someone who's going to an interview is to really just take a moment to focus on what you would what you love to do. Just kind of really vision that. How would you like to feel? How would you like to experience yourself in that role? I think all the preparation mentally to prepare for an interview can be exhausting at times, and then the questions might be quite opposite to what you prepared for. So being open, and a lot of feedback that I kind of got from interview process is seeing yourself, projecting yourself in the role, and using your background experiences, but trying to imagine yourself in the role and how you will contribute, and what do you have to offer. My second piece of advice would be from going from a wellbeing counselling, school counselling position, of the same position, and even though both times I didn't get it, I have learnt a lot from that process. The first time I remember feeling really self-critical about myself afterwards, and it was just playing on my mind for about a week long, even though I could rationalize what I was feeling. It was just sitting in my body, until I was able to use a variety of strategies. But the second time I felt like I let go of any expectations or outcomes or any judgments I had of myself, of what the the interview panel might have been thinking, and just really let go, and let myself just surrender to whatever the outcome is, and know that sometimes it's not a personal decision. It's not about me. It might be just the best fit, and that's okay. So that's what I like to offer. Thank you.
Who wants to have a coffee with me? This month's Coffee with the Counselor training is all about how to advocate for your role using an end of the year report. If you've been around for some time, you know I am so passionate about using an end of the year report to help counselors advocate for their role and improve their program. In this training, I'll be sharing the ins and outs of the end of the year report, my favorite data tracking tool, how to interpret data to improve your counseling program, and how to showcase that data to advocate for your position. You don't want to miss this one. Like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite topics. Everyone who attends will be getting their own end-of-the-year report for free, and I'll be showing you exactly how to use it so you can dive in with the data. This month's Coffee with the Counselor is on May 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/coffee to save your seat. Can't wait to see you there.
My biggest interview tip for future school counselors, as cliche as it may sound, is to just be yourself. For example, I sat in an interview where they asked me all about how I've integrated technology into counseling. And I had to be honest with them that I'm not a super techie counselor. I would much rather do art therapy or play therapy. And while I have integrated some technology, it just isn't me. And I can only imagine, had I have not been honest and not been myself, what those principals would have expected from me on day one. And I'm so grateful that I was just myself, and I ended up finding a great fit for me, and me being a great fit for them. So as long as you are authentically yourself, you have no regrets, and you'll go in and you'll do great. Don't try to be something that you're not. You are perfect the way you are, and you will find somebody that fits you and a place where you can thrive.
Hey y'all, my name's Kelly. I'm from Philadelphia. I do have some interviewing tips. First one would be to definitely research the school. Know, kind of who's going to be interviewing you. What grades do they go to? Kind of, you know, how diverse are they? Everything. Understanding their school values and demographics. It just shows that you had an interest in the school. Secondly, highlight relevant experience. So if you are a new school counselor, I would definitely pitch them your internships. What all that you did, especially stuff that maybe what you weren't asked to do, but you took the initiative to do. Number three, be prepared to discuss scenarios. This is big because they're going to, especially with, you know, asking you about, crisis and all this other stuff, they're definitely going to ask you those types of questions. And a lot of the time, schools do it a little differently, and sometimes states do it a little differently. So make sure that you are prepared on that as well. Number four, showcase your counseling approach. So, we all do things a little differently. Sometimes, we are more of, uh, you know, kind of let them talk it out. Other times we, use a little CBT. Definitely find what your approach is and let them know and share your philosophy on counseling. Number five, demonstrate flexibility. We all know that school counselors have many hats. So, let them know that you know this and that, you can even give them examples of during your internships, when you had to be flexible. Number six, ask thoughtful questions. You're also interviewing the people that are interviewing you. So if you have questions for them, one of the big ones for me is always kind of like how their community culture is and within the school. Um, I've worked in some places where teachers, like, their morale is just really low. So, not that they're going to go and tell you that, like, yeah, we could use a little help with that, but it's always good to see what they say. Also, practice self-care. Remember to prioritize your own well-being within the interview process. Um, Schools very much know about self-care, and that burnout is real, and that's why they're probably looking for another school counselor. And it's important that we share that we know about this, and that we can help teachers and other staff members be more aware of it as well. um, Number 8, always send a thank you email after the interview. uh, 9, reflect on the feedback if you do receive any feedback. And number 10, stay positive, because you're still learning. You're still going through this. I'm going on my third or fourth year of school counseling, and I obviously, I'm still learning a lot too. So, everybody is still very much a student. um, and then also, if I had any last advice, it would be to just, remember that each time that you go through an interview, you're learning more and more, and you can learn from any, you know, self, reflections that you may take on it. And, um, you know, this would all be great for, the next interview. But good luck, and I hope that you guys land an awesome position.
My advice for a school counselor who is interviewing: 3 things. 1, review the school's climate data or school profile, which should be found on the school's website. 2, have a takeaway. Bring a brochure or a 1-pager that you can hand to the interview committee that tells a little bit about you, your vision and mission statement, and what your plan is. 3, ask questions. It shows that you are interested. Good luck.
When I was in college, one of my professors gave me some of the best advice in preparation for job interviewing. These 2 things have still stuck with me to this day throughout my teaching career and now into my counseling job and all the interviews in between. So the first piece of advice is very simple, and it might seem silly, but it's to wear your favorite color, or a color that you want to be reflective of who you are in your interview. For me, my favorite color is yellow, and on top of it being my favorite color, I feel like yellow is oftentimes associated with happiness and represents joy, light, and positivity. All of these qualities are things that I hope to radiate and bring to my campus and in my everyday life. So wearing my favorite color helped give me the confidence boost that I needed, and it reminded me of the kind of counselor that I want to be. You don't have to wear yellow. It could be blue, which, represents strength and calmness oftentimes. Green can represent safety, harmony, and growth. Whatever color it is, choose something that you feel confident and comfortable in. This is a simple step that will help set you up for success. The second piece of advice that my professor gave us was to actually write handwritten thank you notes addressed to the administrators of the schools that you go in to interview at. I did this when I was applying for teaching jobs as well as counseling jobs, and I feel like this small act goes a really long way. It means a lot to the people who are taking the time to interview and consider you for the position, and it really helps you stand out. Past employers of mine actually still remember the thank you notes that I had written them. You can either write them ahead of time and bring it with you to your interview and give it to them at the end on your way out, or you can always write it afterwards once you go home and either mail it to the school or swing by a day or 2 later and drop it off in the front office. In the thank you note, you can just thank them for their time. It doesn't need to be anything super crazy. You understand that it's a busy time of year. You appreciate their consideration for the role. Ultimately, you want them to find the best fit for their campus, and you want to find the best campus that's fit for you. And If it's a position or a campus that you are super interested in, you can even mention that somewhere, in the letter by saying how honored you would be to serve on the campus, how you've heard great things. Just a simple, thank you. And this is just such a kind gesture that can really help you stand out a little bit. Lastly, remember that when and if one door closes, another will open. It'll all work out the way it's supposed to. So just trust the process, as corny as that sounds. You are amazing, you are equipped, and you will be a wonderful, wonderful asset to whichever campus that you end up on. So I hope that this was helpful to at least one person. Good luck, everybody. Go rock those interviews.
Wow, that was so fun just to hear from so many different counselors and all of their different experiences and advice for you. If you are going through the interview process, I hope you find this really encouraging and motivating, and we are so proud of you and we're cheering for you. So let us know how it goes. Send me an email, rachel@brightfutures-counseling.com, and let me know when you get your job, and I cannot wait to celebrate with you. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you next week.